This demonstration will illustrate the concept of convection. Convection is the movement of energy through fluids. Fluids are simply gases and liquids, and because they act in similar fashions, they group into that one category of fluids because of the way they flow. This demonstration will show how hot liquid flows through a cold fluid and how cold fluid will flow through a hot fluid. Now, convection cells are around us everywhere. These gas and liquid movements are constantly happening. You can't always see it with the bare eye, but this demonstration will help to show you that. Convection cells are simply the rising of warmer, less dense air, which as they rise will cool down, and then they'll sink, become more dense, colder, and then recycle back through. And that's how energy is distributed throughout our universe. So what I'm going to do first is I have a mug full of tap water. I haven't heated it up or cooled it down in any way, so this is straight from the tap. I'll be placing a flask inside that has hot water in it. And after removing the cork, you'll be able to see the convection currents inside. Now, first, the dye is going to move very, very quickly upward, and that's because the density difference between the outside colder water and the density of the inside warmer water is a lot greater than it will be in a few moments. So as you can see, the warmer, less dense green fluid, or the warm dye, will rise towards the surface and then spread out across the top. The reason why it's not sinking at this point is because it has to cool down to be denser than what's below it in order for it to sink. So for a period of time, the green dye will remain mostly at the surface, although you will start to see it mix in towards the bottom. For this part of the demonstration, I'll be doing something similar to what I did before, except in this case, the hot water is going to be in the mug, and the cooler tap water is going to be inside the flask. Now, this water has been heating up on the coffee warmer for a period of time now, but I know that it's not so hot that it'll burn my hand when I put my hand into it. If you try this at home, please use tongs instead of using your own hands, or be sure that the water is not too hot before reaching inside. As I lower the flask with the colder dye inside, originally you'll see a burst of color in towards the top of the liquid, and that has to do with the fact that the air bubbles in the flask are going to be releasing from the flask. But as you'll notice, as those air bubbles settle down and after the fluid has had a moment to settle, you'll notice that actually most of the color will remain right inside the flask, and it'll continue to do that for a long period of time. The reason why it does that is because the water outside of the flask is much less dense than the water inside the flask, which is colder and therefore more dense. So that's why it will remain inside.